Hey everybody, welcome to our VeVeVerse showcase with our beta tester, MrFalcon. It's so great to see you today. Thanks so much for joining. We also have our co-CEO, Ben Rose, right here with us to hang around. And of course, our co-founder and COO, Dan Crothers, who is of course super interested in the VeVeVerse. This is really exciting. I'm gonna start with you, Falcon. We're gonna show some of your content today, some of your builds. We're super excited to see this. I know you've been working really hard in the background. Just before we do that though, how's it been for you in the VeVeVerse so far, your experience as a beta tester, and have you had a chance to collab with others?
I have, yeah. I mean, it's been amazing in the VeVeVerse. I've been in there for a little while, so I've really had a chance to build lots of cool things and play around with lots of different environments. And yes, I have been able to collaborate with a few people. Hales particularly, we had a go at his Gotham City together, and we got to actually stay in the same space and build together, which was really cool. And people got to pop into my spaces. That was one of my favorite things to do. People would just pop in and say, "Oh, hello." So yeah, it's been awesome. It's been really, really great.
That's awesome. Have you found it really intuitive to use and like the tools and everything? I know you've created some amazing stuff that we're going to show in just a second here.
Oh, good.
But have you really got used to using all the stuff, and how you feeling pretty comfortable in there?
Yeah, very comfortable. I mean, there was a learning curve, which I think you'll kind of see through the environments I've created. But I picked it up very quickly. Actually found that using the showroom on the app helped me understand the way you can place things. So, you have your X, Y, and Z axis, and I'm not a 3D builder, so it's something I wasn't familiar with, but having played around with that a lot, it really helped me in the VeVeVerse. So it was a good extension of that, and then you can really go wild. So yeah, it's been very cool.
Well, let's not keep everybody waiting, because I know that's why they're here. I know you, Ben and Dan, are super excited to see this as well. I'm going to share one of your builds right here. This one actually you call John Wick, which is absolutely amazing. I'm just going to hit play on it. So just walk us through. Let us know how you built this. I mean, it's absolutely crazy.
So this was, so I'm a big fan of the John Wick movies. I was thinking about what environment I could create. This is one of the more recent things I've done. And I was very much inspired by, there's a scene in John Wick 4 where there's a nightclub and there's like a poker room. So I just tried to recreate some of those environments. There's a kind of throbbing circle thing on the wall. That was just a good thing, a piece of art really. And I worked out that you can expand these circles, so it made this really cool thing. And the rain you see, I don't know if you maybe want to just pause on some rain. I actually made that, so kind of went a bit Neo from the Matrix on the VeVeVerse. It actually changed the way I looked at the world for a while, and I realized that everything is just shapes. So I wanted rain, I wanted water, because in this scene there's a lot of water. And so I actually made the rain. So the rain is very thin, stretched cylinders that move up and down. So that's what the rain is. But yeah, anyway.
I love what you did on the picture of the ground there with the lighting reflecting off it. That's amazing. Look.
Just the lighting in general is amazing what you've done here. And I love all of the even like around that door frame there with the emission, to get the glowing items, the moving lights. Yeah, it's quite a beautiful space, to be honest. I have popped in there and had a quick look.
Oh, well, thank you for visiting. Yeah, I mean, the light is obviously a big part of the club. So you've got pulsing lights. Some of them move, some of them don't. There's the main kind of room. It's not quite finished, but that's got a light that changes color. So when me and a few other people, the initial beta testers, when we started, we quickly found out that you can move things a little bit and change colors and things like that. So we were playing around and used some of those techniques in here. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. I need to get some collectibles in there so there's a proper party, but it's just the environment at the moment.
The question is, are you going to invite DC or Marvel or both?
Well, I think I'll invite all of them. I'm not. It's not an exclusive membership. It's open to all the collectibles. Get the hoggle.
What-
He
what
can't
also-
see me.
What I also really like about this space is it's, it's quite simple in terms of, the shapes. It's all just sort of big, simple shaped blocks or cubes.
Yeah.
But, what you've done with the lighting and the texturing, it really adds that extra sort of, perceived layer of detail in there.
Thank you. Yeah, I quite like to limit myself in terms of space, kind of one block at a time. I think I find a blank canvas in a completely open space quite overwhelming. So just having these more confined areas that I could expand upon was good for my brain.
It's interesting to think about also, each of those different spaces that you've created could have really different purposes and atmospheres as well, right? Just like in a physical building. So it's just the possibilities when you look at it as you walk through one of your doorways, you feel like you're in a different place. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a club, really. As I said, people have come to visit my spaces, and I thought it'd be cool if there's a place where we can all go that's like a nightclub. So this seemed like a good one, and hopefully not get shot by John Wick. But whatever. What happens, happens.
So now we're moving on to your next one, and this one is really exciting. This is one of my favorites. You do see some collectibles in here. This one's you call Doom, and I can't wait to even just to try this at home. I don't know if we'll be able to, but let's walk it through it. Let us know what happened here.
So yeah, this was one of the first spaces I created, which was very much based on the showroom starting point. So we had a showroom template to start with, and I decided to put a massive Dr. Doom face on the side of it, and it just kind of grew from there. And then as I was playing around with it, I realized that it felt very much like playing with my action figures as a kid and having like a play set. So I started thinking, okay, if this was a toy, like a play set, what would it have? So you've got like collapsible turrets, and you've got your jail, and that sort of stuff. So that was what I was thinking when I put this together.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. I didn't even realize you used the home template there to begin with, but now that I look at it again, yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I sort of turned it into a commercial for an action, for the playset, which I think we're showing as well. But yeah, that was the collectibles look amazing, don't they? Really cool.
Because it's interesting. People watching this will be looking at that going, oh my God, I could never do that, right? So on day one, when you started from scratch, how did you just get familiar with the tools to start to make stuff like this?
So yeah, day one was just really placing collectibles, expanding and using simple shapes just to kind of stack them up, and then just putting, posters and pictures on the walls in my gallery, turning the lights on and off, that kind of thing. And just, you can just go wild from there. Once you grasp those simple things, it's quite simple, I think, just to keep going.
Did you find it quite addictive?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think Dan has alluded to how many hours I might have spent in there before. And yeah, got a little bit carried away. I think when I first became a beta tester, it was my summer vacation from work. So I had quite a lot of time.
So now we're going to go on to your next one right here. This one is they're all amazing. I mean, great work. Obviously, it's so fun to see. But this one you call Batman. Walk us through this one again. Let us know what you're thinking and your inspirations.
So this is actually a compilation of Batman related things that I did. So initially we've got, again, this was the showroom template with Batman collectibles in it. So I just made a little Batcave. I think that was probably done before Doom, actually. And then here you see that I started playing around with the lighting, because in the VeVeVerse you can move lights, you can desaturate colors, so you can see this is black and white, and you can use different shadows and what's it called? You can pull focus, so you can see Batman in the foreground is slightly out of focus, and Death in the background is in focus. So it's just playing around with that. And then the next one was Axis Chemicals. So I made that an environment from one of the Batman movies, and there's Batman. And the final thing there was where
So dramatic.
quite a lot, isn't there?
The lighting and everything is just amazing.
Looks cool, and there's like a swinging light there as well. This was actually made so myself and Hales got a bit carried away. He built Gotham City, which is crazy, and we put a little movie together, and Axis Chemicals was going to be a part of that. So we built that. But the last one, the kind of the green shapes, that was, I'm a big movie fan, and I watched the movie Rear Window, and I thought it would be cool to have like a room that you can't really leave, but has a view out into that Rear Window apartment. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. I didn't finish it, but you can see that a lot of the shapes were there that I put together, and I got Supergirl dancing around, making up. So yeah, there's quite a lot.
Wow. Rear Window is the Alfred Hitchcock movie.
That's right.
He's injured and he's looking out and he's seeing all his neighbors, and then I think that's a really interesting. This is amazing to me. I have a question. Just so, how did you make those little cylinders there, kind of to do, put the collectibles in, like almost like display case kind of jails in a way or something? Is that what you were thinking there?
Yeah, so that's lots of simple shapes. So you have a bank of simple shapes: cylinders, cubes, cuboids, star shapes, all sorts of different things. So the cylinders were sort of lots of cylinders. So you've got like a metallic cylinder, and then there's a glass material that you can put around. So that's the kind of the case. And then you've got some emissive cylinders as well. So yeah, there's all sorts of different shapes in there, which when you put them together, sometimes they look quite cool. Sometimes it goes wrong, but they look pretty good. And I've got the back.
What you can do with one simple shape. It's quite amazing what you can do with it. With just, like you've obviously used just a cylinder on those sort of vitrines. But yeah, they look so cool.
So you've built it, you spend all your time in it yourself building it. How does it feel when people come into it and you have people to come and have a look at it? How does that feel?
It feels awesome. It's really lovely just to be able to show it off. These environments, I feel, should be seen by other people. That I built them as, as gathering places, I suppose. So it was awesome when people would come in, and I can go into other people's spaces and check them out. And people have built crazy stuff. All the beta testers have done some really amazing stuff. So yeah, it's very cool when other people come in and they can see it for themselves.
That's amazing. Well, we'll go on to your next one right here, which I know they're all so amazing, right? This one is your haunted house. And,
this one's so good.
It might be good to note, Aaron, that we've got obviously a couple of channels in Discord that are all around the VeVeVerse. Obviously, only the beta testers are in there at the moment, but once we roll it out, the idea is that we can open that up. I mean, there's a pool of experienced experts like MrFalcon in there now who, will be more than happy to help.
Yeah, that's a great point. Let's just put this up on screen right now and geek out a little bit more. This is your haunted house. Walk us through, Falcon. This is the last one we're going to show today, but it's incredible.
Perhaps. So I guess initially, when the beta testers came in, it became quite competitive. Like, we'd see things from other people, and then you'd want to step your game up. So this was actually, again, I started with the showroom template, and I put these all the kind of the Cryptkins and there's a Deadpool Mighty, like the smaller, cuter characters, I suppose. Put them inside these vats, and then got the bubbles moving. And then I realized it would look really cool if there was a staircase leading up to another floor. So then I made that, and that mask there, I think it's the Saffin mask. I made it so that it kind of goes dark and light. So it's a mirror that will be completely dark, but as you approach it, it appears, which looks really cool. So I really just threw everything at this one, like, haunted mansion, creepy horror stuff. That's very much my bag. So I just wanted to throw it all in there, and that's kind of the idea.
You did with those Tokidokis. Look at that.
Yeah, I see you've been hunting Tokidokis by the looks of.
seemed right, you know?
And that whole like kind of old school Frankenstein's but laboratory sort of, electronic thing going on there, that is a really cool thing. How did you put that together?
Again, a lot of simple shapes, just angled. I mean, what I really liked about the VeVeVerse is you can throw all these things together just by looking, but you can also be a lot more particular. You can use coordinates and do things quite mathematically, which I got very into because I like to get things just right. So that I really enjoyed. And then there's an attic as well, which is a really spooky space. So yeah, it really was just throwing everything at this one. And I like the way it turned out.
So the real creativity then, so it's taking your collectibles, it's using them in interesting ways, and then it's taking the shapes and being creative yourself and putting together the space around them, right? It's only works with you plus the collectibles.
That's right. And I think for me, it was just how can I show off these collectibles in new and exciting ways? Because they look wonderful on a shelf or on a wall, but if I like telling stories, so if I can make them part of this environment and, like you said, Tokidoki Hunters, that's an interesting angle. That was what really excited me and does excite me. So that was kind of how I thought about putting it together.
Very cool. Very cool. So party at your place.
Yes, I'm along. Party in the mate. I'll lock you all in and you can fence it out.
As long as we don't end up in a vat. But it is interesting, how you as you start building and as you start creating, especially when you're doing these environments from scratch. You mentioned you had the vats down the side, and then your brain just says, "Oh, hey, it'd be great if there's a staircase down the middle," and then you can just go and build it, and it just kind of organically grows and grows. It's really fun, actually.
That's right. And yeah, that one did. It was one floor to start with, but it grew to 3 floors. Took a while, but yeah, I was pleased with it in the end. And then I built the outside as well to look like a haunted manor.
So are you working on anything else now that we'll be able to see sometime in the future? Do you have another big plan, or do you want to keep that secret?
I'm always working, MC, always. There's a few other things I've done that I haven't shown off yet. A few fairly iconic buildings that I wanted to see if I could recreate. So yeah, looking forward to showing them off at some point. But I've always got ideas. So of course I'll keep going. You'll see.
So thanks so much for everybody for coming out today and watching our VeVeVerse beta tester showcase. This has been amazing. If you have feedback for us or comments or suggestions, make sure you go to veve.me down in the bottom corner, fill out our feedback form. As always, it's going to go right to the team, and we'd love to hear from you. And of course, stay tuned to all of our socials for more announcements, more updates, and possibly even more showcases. We'll see you soon.